Hello everyone, I welcome you all on this YouTube channel UPSClogy. This is me Rahul, and today we are going to cover the important news articles of The Hindu for your public administration optional, and we are going to cover The Hindu dated 28th of October 2021. And let's get started. And before starting this video, let me tell you that if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and you can also join the Telegram channel PubAdPedia for the public administration current affairs magazine PubAdPedia. You can download the magazine over there, and the link for the same is given in the description box, and you can follow the channel. And let's get started without wasting a bit of time. So the first important news article is with respect to this Pegasus allegation, etc. So Supreme Court sets up the committee to examine the allegations with respect to this Pegasus. So basically the thing that you need to understand is the privacy concern. So here you can link it with the privacy, and privacy is something that is your fundamental rights, and rights are something that are very essential or the precondition for the overall development of the individual. So in that way you can link the right. In the magazine itself, in the previous editions, we have covered these kind of things, that how can you link the rights with the different thinkers. So I am not going to waste your time. What you have to do, simply type rights for public administration. Okay, link rights with public administration. You will get one video where you will get that how can you link this rights, or you can say the freedom of speech, of expression, or you can say the kind of right to privacy. How can you link these rights with your different thinkers and theories of public administration? So for example, when it comes to rights, when we are providing or when we are giving the rights to the individual, then basically it is a kind of human relation approach, the kind of behavioral approach, because here we are not considering the people as the subject only, we are giving them rights. And when you give rights to the people, then they are not subject, they are citizens. Okay, this is the basic difference between citizens and subjects. So in that way you can link with the human relation. Apart from that, you can also link it with the different public policy dimension, because in public policies right issues is there. So many dimensions are there. You can simply search for this rights and public administration. You will get my video in the YouTube, and you can just you can just go through that 5 to 10 minute article, in which you will get only linking, that how can you link rights with the different thinkers, okay, thinkers and theories, etc. So you can refer to that. And if you just scroll down further, you will get some important ethics articles. So here some ethics kind of things you can refer. For example, okay, so here this can be used in your ethics, this parents samvad, let's talk to parents. So basically you can use this thing in your general studies paper 4, because in your ethics there is the specific mention, there is explicit keyword called there is explicit mention in the syllabus, the role of family and society in inculcating values, etc. in the individual. So you can use this example in your ethics. Apart from that, the another important article is this word minus ads. So here the article is talking about 3 to 4 advertisement that were there in the news recently. So like this Fab India Jasne Riwaz kind of initiative, it was in the controversy. Apart from that, Seat Tires, Amir Khan's ad was in the controversy. And apart from that, there is Dabur's advertisement with respect to Karwa Chauth, and that was also there in the controversy. So for ethics you can basically mention these things, intolerance, religion, or you can say different dimensions you can use. So just try to refer to this article. And apart from that, the next important article for your public administration is given here, the need to move away from clientelism. So basically this is very important. This is the most important article in today's The Hindu for your public administration. You have to read this article by your own, and there is no need to go into the nitty-gritties of Tamil Nadu, because here the article is specifically talking about the policies and the initiatives of Tamil Nadu, the political parties and the political, you can say, and the political you can say stakeholders in the Tamil Nadu. So there is no need to go into the nitty-gritties and the surveys and all the policies of Tamil Nadu government per se, or the Tamil Nadu you can say political parties per se. What you have to focus is the concept of there are two concepts that you should be aware of. So let me tell you four concepts here in this article. The first thing is welfarism, and another thing is populism. Okay, so this article is talking about both of them, welfarism and populism. So here the article is saying that welfare initiative embodies the civil rights. So welfarism is about civil rights. So when it comes to welfarism, you can take the example of National Food Security Act, public distribution systems, etc. So when it comes to these initiatives, this is the kind of thing where welfarism is there. These are the constitutional rights to the individual, like right to food, or this kind of right. These are the kind of things. Okay, so National Food Security Act is one example, MG Narega. So these are the welfare initiative, and they embodies the civil right, because ultimately the directive principles of state policies provide the, you can say, there is the obligation on the state that they should provide these kind of food security and other kind of you can say right to livelihood, etc. to the citizen of this country. This is welfarism. But at the same time, there is the another concept called populism. Populism is different from welfarism, because populism is directed not because of the state's obligation, or you can say not because of the constitution, but it comes into the picture because of the elections. Okay, so the things, the freebies that are based, that are provided to the citizen of the country in order to get those votes in the upcoming elections, that kind of initiatives, that kind of freebies are called as this kind of scenario is populism. So here populism is not good, because it creates the patron client syndrome, where the individual, the citizen feels that that he is basically he is the client of something, or you can say the kind of bhakt kind of thing. So that's why populism is not good, welfarism is good. Why it is important to understand the difference? Because there is one another concept. Let me tell you that thing as well. So there are two more concepts. One is entitlement and another is enablement. Okay, entitlement and enablement. Entitlement, when it comes to entitlement, this is the kind of thing where government will give you something. For example, the kind of in your public administration paper 2, you have this concept called System 2 of Rensis-Likert. Okay, System 2 of Rensis-Likert is benevolent authoritative. So government will give you something, like anything, they can give you something. So this is entitlement. Anything that government is providing directly to you is known as, like, even your welfare initiatives like food, the rice, the wheat, the kind of things that they are providing through public distribution system, that thing is also, you can categorize them under the category of entitlement, because they are giving you something. They are not empowering you, they are not giving you the skills and the education, they are giving you directly, they are giving you at the cost of 2 rupee, 1 rupee, etc. So that is called as entitlement. Apart from that, there is another concept, enablement. So enablement means basically they will provide you health education, they will make you, you can say, Atmanirbhar, they will make you self-reliant, so that they will provide you health, proper education, so that you become enabled, you become empowered, and in the future you will be in the position to earn adequate amount of money, and you will be in the position to go to the market, and you will be in the position to purchase the things at the proper market price. This is in empowerment, or you can say the enablement. So entitlement, enablement, empowerment, these are the three concepts that you should understand. So here this debate of entitlement versus enablement, or you can say entitlement versus empowerment, this debate come into picture when it comes to this current account, this current kind of means the kind of capital investment or current investment. Okay, so there is current expenditure, there is capital expenditure. So when it comes to the fact that we should provide more, we should focus more on the health education rather than giving the things like in free or in like that. So in that debate it becomes important. But here this article is further dividing this entitlement into two categories. One is welfare and another is populism. So welfarism and populism, you can say that these are the two categories under the entitlement. So what you have to understand, that entitlement, empowerment, enablement, these are the three things. Empowerment and enablement is something that the government is doing. For example, nowadays the government is focusing more on the health, education, skill development, etc., rather than giving the direct benefit transfer, or you can say rather than giving the national this food security, etc. So they are doing this thing, they are giving, but at the same time their focus is more on the empowerment side. But here what you have to understand, that even in entitlement there are two categories. One is welfarism and another is populism. So welfarism is something that is embodied that embodies civil rights, because it is the need of the citizen, and it is something that is important. But at the same time populism should not be there, because populism is based on the political aspirations of the political parties just before the elections. I hope you are getting. So just try to divide entitlement further into two categories. One is welfarism and another is populism. And apart from that, the writer is differentiating these welfarism and populism. I hope you are getting this understanding with respect to welfarism and populism. So writer is then talking about the different, you can say, issues with respect to populism. Because here in India we do not have the proper economy, we have the political economy. Political economy is nothing but the populism kind of initiative, where you can say vote bank politics matters a lot. Okay, so what are the issues in this thing? So writer is talking about 2-3 points, and you have to understand these 2-3 points. First of all, writer is saying about the depoliticization of the poor and marginalized. So when it comes to populism, when the people got all these freebies like TV, mobile, laptop, washing machine, etc., so it will create a kind of situation where people become depoliticized. They will just take those things and they will vote for the political party. So they lose their point of view, they lose their rationality, and that's how the de-democratization is something that we will witness. So this is the first problem, because people will not be in the position to analyze the things rationally, because they will get the freebies and they will vote for the political party, and ultimately it is not good for the democratic system of government. Apart from that, the another point that the writer is talking about is the fact that populism widens the gap between the rich and the poor. So prima facie, or in the short term consideration, you can say that the government is giving something to the individual or the people in the society, so it is beneficial for the people. But if you look at the long term perspective, then what will happen is that it would widen the gap between the rich and the poor, because ultimately the government, the political party in power, they are not providing you the adequate health, education, etc. And in the future what will happen, that you will not be in the position to compete with the forward section of the society, or you can say the poor people, the marginalized people. They would not be able to compete with those who are at the upper strata of the society. Okay, because these freebies are not long-term investment, these are the short-term kind of views or short-term perspective. So I hope you are getting this thing. And apart from that, you can just imagine, like government has 100 rupees, and instead of investing on health and education of the poor and marginalized, they are giving them 50 rupees this laptop, mobile or tablet or something like that, washing machine, etc. So basically what will happen, that they would not be in the position to invest in the other things, because already we have the problem of fiscal deficit and all. So that creates the problem, because it widens the gap between the rich and the poor, and this is how you have to understand this thing. Apart from that, populism versus welfarism. So I told you earlier that populism and welfarism, there is a difference between both of the things. Populism is about the vote bank, and populism creates the patron this client relationship, patron client syndrome, whereas the welfarism is something that is constitutionally provided and it embodies the civil rights. So you have to understand, and apart from that, you have to understand one thing, which is the difference between citizen and subject. So when it comes to subject are the people who are living in the authoritative regime. What when it comes to citizen are the people who are living in the democratic regime, or you can say the regime that is accountable to the people of the country. So when it comes to citizen, they have the rights, and rights are not there in the hands of the subject. So the thing that you have to understand, that populism, the kind of exercises that belongs to the category of populism, they have the characteristic of making the person or making the people subjects in the authority, and they creates the kind of authoritative regime. So you have to link this thing with your public administration paper 2 philosophical framework, democratization and all those things. And in the public policy also you can link this thing, because in your topic of public policy you can use these things insofar as the policy issues are concerned, like what we have to do insofar as the policies are concerned. I hope you are getting the nitty-gritties of this article. Just go through this article once and you will be able to understand this thing. And apart from that, all the things like clientelism, when we say like this, and here you will get all the things like neoliberal, etc. So you can link it with the new public management. Like in new public management, we are basically giving the private sector all the you can say initiatives and all the power. So these are the things that you should read from this article. And apart from that, you can also read this article, Ground Beneath the President's Feet. So basically this article is not that important for your exam, for your general studies as well as for PubAd, because it is more focused towards Sri Lanka. But what you have to understand, that in your public administration paper number 1, there is the topic called Comparative Public Administration, and in that CPA you will get one topic, comparison of Indian administration with the administration of other countries. So there are some points, 1-2 points that you can take from this particular point. So here basically the writer is talking about, so you can basically understand that what is the difference between India and Sri Lanka, the neighbor of the country. So the article is talking about some kind of recently 20th amendment was in the picture. So it creates the executive presidentialism in the country called Sri Lanka. So in India we do not have presidentialism kind of thing, we have the parliamentary form of government. So this way you can just remember this thing, and when it comes to the answer writing, you can mention recently conducted or recently amended constitution of Sri Lanka, okay, so that you can bring that current affair perspective. Apart from that, you can also mention civil military ties. Recently what happened, that the president of Sri Lanka initiated a new trend where Sri Lanka's structure of the governance, appointing the army commander to head a new presidential task force to manage the public health crisis and all the things. So basically army, there is a kind, you must be knowing about civil versus military. So in India we have separate civil military, but here what we are witnessing is this kind of thing where military officials are holding the civil post. So this is a kind of thing where democracy this is not good for democracy, because ultimately the power should be in the hands of the people who are elected by the people of the country, okay. So the representative democracy kind of thing should be there. But when it comes to this civil military ties, this militarization of public administration is something that is happening in the country called Sri Lanka. This is a keyword. you can mention this thing here in the difference. Militarization of public administration, here you will get this line as well, militarization of public administration. Here you can see militarization of public administration. So you can mention this thing that in Sri Lanka they are focusing on the militarization of public administration, but in India things are not like this. In India we have the proper administration, bureaucratic administration, etc. So when it comes to the public administration, you should keep this point in your mind that there is something called militarization of public administration. I hope you are getting. These are the important articles that you should refer in today's The Hindu. I hope you are getting all the things, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to join the Telegram channel as well. This is it for the day. Thank you so much and have a nice day, and stay tuned for the upcoming videos. Thank you.